Yes, welcome back to another lesson with Amanj. So here we are in chapter 6 of grade 10's book. So in chapter 6 we are going to talk about something very important that it actually related to the grade 12 directly. And the title of it is derivative. So in this section we are going to get familiar with, first of all, slope and slope-intercept form of a line. Then we will talk about rate of change. Then we will discuss about derivative rules and some interesting question at the end and how to graph the function and its derivative. So just stay with me. Well, I will try my best to deliver this chapter because the entire chapter actually made up of one section. That's why I cannot. Actually, it's a wide versus section, long section. So I may not be able to do it in one video because it's gonna be like maybe more than 1 hour. It's gonna take more than 1 hour. Therefore, I would prepare to explain this section, this chapter, into 2 videos or maybe 3 videos. But the thing is, try to follow my instruction and watch the videos, and I hope that you get benefit from them. All right. In the beginning of our section, we are going to talk about slope of a line, a linear function. So remember in grade 9, we got familiar with the formula of slope and the idea of slope. All right. So, definition of the slope of a straight line. The slope m. In mathematics, the letter m stands for slope. All right. And whenever we see small letter m, that means that we are dealing with slope. The slope of a non-vertical straight line passing through the point x1, y1, and x2 and y2 is m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where x2 doesn't equals to x1. Because if x1 doesn't equals to like x2, then in that case the slope would be undefined. Yani imagine if both of them are the same number. So here in the denominator, for instance, imagine both of them are 6. So 6 minus 6 is 0. And something over 0 is going to be undefined. That's why x's are not going to be, x's mustn't be like the same thing. Perfect. So simply when we have 2 points of a line, so easily we can just get the slope of that line by using that formula, which is m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Perfect. Let me just make sure about the video. Yes, everything is clear. So here is the illustration, the graph of a line, and how to get the slope of it. Well, we have got delta y, which is y2 minus y1. Look, we have got these 2 points. That is the first point, and here is the second point. Both of them are on this line. In that case, this one has, of course, like x1 and y1. As you can see, x1 and y1. And here is the second point. It has coordinates of x2 and y2. x2 and y2. Therefore, by using the formula of slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we can easily get the slope of it. Let's just go through some questions. Then I'm pretty sure it's going to be clear. But before going to the questions, better to study the slope-intercept form as well of a line. So the slope of a vertical straight line is undefined. As we already said that, imagine if you have a vertical line, and look in the definition of the slope, it says that this formula is using for non-vertical line. Because if we have vertical line, something like this, so as you can see, x's are the x is the same thing for every single y. For example, for this y, we have got the same x. For this y, we have got the same x. Therefore, if the line is vertical, slope is undefined. Don't forget about this point. The slope of a horizontal straight line is 0. Perfect. What if we have a horizontal line something like this? Wait a second. What if we have something like this, a horizontal line? So horizontal line, as you can see, x's are going to change. But y is the same thing. Since y is the same thing, so this time we are going to have 0 in the numerator and over something like delta x, we can say. So 0 over a number. 0 over a number is equal to 0 in mathematics. So remember, 0 over number equals to 0. Perfect. So take care of these two notes. Slope of the vertical line, undefined. Slope of a horizontal line is 0. And then the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. The slope-intercept. It means that we have got a form of a line that there is slope and as well as there is an intercept, which is y-intercept in it. So what is the form of it? It says that the graph of the linear function y equals to mx plus b. Mx plus b. In some books, instead of these b, there is c. So it doesn't matter. These are just letters. The meaning of them, the thing that they stand for, is important to understand. So here is m, which stands for slope. We already studied it. And this b, so let's say here is slope. And that b is y-intercept. Perfect. So m represents slope and y is going to display like y-intercept. Is a line having a slope of m and a y-intercept at 0 and b. As I already said that m is slope, b is the y-intercept. So let's see, what else do we have over here? Perfect. That is the first type of question that you might deal in the exam. All right. Deal with it. All right. Find the slope and y-intercept. Look, understanding the title of the question is very, very important here. So I want you to just take care of the title of the question. So first of all, we need to find the slope and the y-intercept as well. So remember the general form of a slope-intercept form was y equal to mx plus b. That is very important to understand that in this form, y must be alone in one side. So what I mean by this, there shouldn't be any coefficient with it. The coefficient should be 1. If there was anything else, we need to just remove it by using the orders of operation. And it should be alone in one side. So coefficient of 1 and nothing else with it. Perfect. So right now here in this one, is y alone in one side? Definitely yes. So since y is alone, so we can say that the number next to x is slope. So m equals to 3 and b equals to -1. Or we can just write it like this, or 0 and -1. Both terms, both forms are correct to write like y-intercept. Perfect. But I prefer this one because in y-intercept x is 0. How about this one? Is y alone? Definitely not, because there is 2x with it, there is negative with it. So there are multiple ways to make y alone. I'm just showing my own one, my favorite one. So move this -1 to the other side. A second. Yes, everything is perfect. Move this -y to the other side, so we are going to have 2x equals to 3 plus y. Why plus y? Because whenever we change a term, automatically the sign of it will change. So -y will become positive y. Right now, still y is not alone. Move these 3 to the other side, so we are going to have y equals to 2x. When this 3 comes to this side, so it's going to become -3. So right now, is y alone? Compare this one, compare this formula with the general form. So y is alone in one side. So what is the number next to x? 2. Therefore, we will say that slope is 2. And what about the y-intercept? So the y-intercept is 0 and -3. Perfect. So how about the last 2 examples? So we have got the same situation here. There are multiple ways, as I already said that. So move this -2x to the other side. So what will happen? 4y equals to 2x plus 12. Why 2x? Because here is negative, so it's, when it comes to here, it's going to become positive. So divided by 4, divided by 4, divided by 4. Why divided by 4? Because the coefficient of y is 4, so we need to remove it. That's why we need to divide everything by that coefficient. This 4 goes with this 4. These 2 will be simplified by these 4. So we are going to have y equals to 1 over 2x plus 12 divided by 4, 3. So slope is 1 over 2, y-intercept is 0 and 3. That's how we are going to get slope and y-intercept. How about this one? So simply we can see that clearly that y is alone with coefficient 1. Therefore, this number 0.5 is slope. So slope is 0.5 and y-intercept is y-intercept is 0 and negative 2. 0 and negative 2. That's it. So I hope that it is understandable by now. Just wait a second. Yes. Okay. That is the first type of question regarding to slope and y-intercept that you will deal with it. Let's just move to the next one. The next type of questions. Perfect. This one is more important than the previous one. Find the slope and y-intercept of the line goes through the point 2, 5 and 4 and 11. Let me just give you a hint regarding to this type of question. Whenever 2 points are given, look, 2 points are given, immediately go and find the slope. How? Remember the formula of slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Students are going to are asking me, teacher, we got confused to determine which one is y1, which one is y2 or x1, x2. Always from left to right, whatever comes, that's going to become the first point. So here is P1 and here is P2. So m equals to y2 is 11 minus y1 is 5 over x2 is 4, x1 is 2. So 11 minus 5, 6. 4 minus 2, 2. 6 divided by 2, 3. That is the slope. So how are we going to get the y-intercept? So again, rewrite the general formula, but replace the slope that you have got into it. So y equals to mx plus b. Y equals to, the slope is 3, so 3x plus b. Right now, like, choose one of these 2 points. All right, doesn't matter which one you want to choose because you are going to get the same answer after you choose it and substitute it into this function. So I would love to choose, like, pick 2 and 5. So instead of y, I will put 5. 3 times, instead of x, I have 2 plus b. So right now I have only one unknown and easily I can get this, the value of it. So 5 equals to 6 plus b. And everybody know that how to deal with this one. Move this 6 to the other side. In that case, b is going to become 5 minus 6, which is negative 1. So the the y-intercept is 0 and negative 1. So at the end, if I ask you to find the equation of the line, you are going to say that y equals to, look, mx plus b. M was 3, so 3x, and b was negative 1, so minus 1. This is the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. Okay, we can just try it whether it goes through this one or not. Put 4 instead of x. 3 times 4, 12 minus 1, 11. So that means that our job is definitely correct. This is how to deal with such a kind of questions. I'm pretty sure we have got more questions over here. So again, this type of question, find the slope and y-intercept of the line goes through 0s 3, 2 and 15. So when 2 points are given, immediately go and find the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it equals to y2 is 15 minus y1 is 3. 2 minus 0. 15 minus 3, 12. 2 minus 0, 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Slope is equal to 6. What was the second step? The second step we said that y equals to mx plus b. Y equals to, replace this slope that you have got into the formula, 6x plus b. Okay, so choose one of these 2 points. This one looks easier. And as you can see, it's given by the 0 and 3. What does it mean? What does this 0, 3 show us? It shows that b is 3, but let's just find it out. Instead of y, I should put 3, 6x. Oh, 6 times 0, sorry, 6 times 0 plus b. 6 times 0 is 0. So b is equal to 3. And the equation is going to be in this way. Y equals to m is 6x plus 3. That is the equation of the line. So first of all, slope, then find b, then the equation of the line. Okay, last question regarding to this type of question. Again, 2 points are given. So m would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right. So stop the video and try to solve it by yourself before I do it. Perfect. Let's just do it. M equals to y2 is -4, y1 is 8. So minus 8 over x2 is 7. Minus x1 is 1. So -4 and -8 is going to give us -12. 7 minus 1, 6. -12 over 6 is equals to -2. So the slope is negative. That means that this line that we face is a decreasing line. So from left to right. So y equals to mx plus b. Y equals to -2x plus b. Take one of these 2 points, stay away from negative, so choose 1 and 8. So 8 here, -2 times 1 plus b. 8, -2 times 1, -2 plus b. Move this -2 to the other side, so 8 plus 2, it equals to b. Finally, b equals to 10. Okay, so the line, the equation of the line would be y equals to m is -2, x plus 10. That is the equation of the line. And I hope that it is understandable by now. Okay. So the next question is a little bit different. Find the value of y. Right now, the question did not ask about slope or y-intercept. It asks about like the value of an unknown that it is given in the question. So let's just find out what is it. Okay, find the value of y. Where is y? Y is here. Y coordinates of the second point. If the slope of the line goes through the points 1 and -6 and 7 and y is 4. So the slope is given. These 4 shows m. Okay, so right now, for this kind of question, again, first of all, or not first of all, we need to use the slope formula. M equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, m is given, which is 4. Let's just give a denominator of 1, because we will need it. Right now, I will tell you where. y2 is not given, so y. y1 is -6, so minus -6 over x2 is 7 minus 1. So right now, let's just simplify it a little bit more. 4 over 1 equals to negative times negative, positive. So y plus 6 over 7 minus 1, 6. Right now, why did I make this denominator of 1? Because we needed to make cross product. So if you just make cross product, 6 times 4, it's going to give us 24 equals to 1 times anything, it equals to the same thing. So y plus 6. Move this 6 to the other side. So it's going to become 24 minus 6 equals to y. So y equals to 18. That's it. So the value of y that the question asked for is 18. That is the third type of question regarding to slope and y-intercept. What else do we have here? Rate of change. So Rate of change, basically, it has the same job, the same function that slope do. But we use slope when we are dealing with linear function. But when the story is not about linear function, we are going to use rate of change. And of course, it has a formula, but the formula looks like the slope. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. All right, there is another way to differentiate between a slope and rate of change. If the units of x and y were the same, it's called slope. Yani when we are talking about points, you know that it's all about distance, right? Yani the units, it's just meter or centimeter or this kilometer or this stuff, and the unit doesn't change. But if we have two quantities, one of them change over the other one with different units, in that case we need to use rate of change. Perfect. But if they were different, yani the units, if they were different, it's called rate of change. F of x. Remember, f of x shows a function. So f of x stands for a function. Be careful, okay? Since the beginning of this course, I'm just saying that f of x means a function. Is a function, then the average rate of change of the function over the interval. In rate of change, we have got interval, not point. In slope, we had points, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But here, in rate of change, we have got a function and an interval. Okay, rate of change formula is f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So, first of all, we need to find out what is A and what is B in our questions that we face them. So remember, from left to right, the left side stands for A, and the right side shows the value of V. So first of all, in order to find the rate of change, we need to substitute each one of them individually into the function, find out their values, and then use this formula. Imagine, compare it with the slope. Instead of f of b in slope, we had y2, and instead of f of a, we had y1, and instead of b, we had x2, and instead of a, we had x1. The same thing, the same function, the same job. So right now, let's just deal with some questions and see how are we going to deal with rate of change. Well, find the rate of change of f of x equals to x squared minus 5x. You see, that is not a linear function, it's a quadratic function. So x squared minus 5x over the interval 4 and 8. So these 4, we said that the left side is A, the right side is B. So right now we need to find f of both of them. So f of 4, we need to substitute it here. 4 squared, 16, minus 5 times 4. So 16 minus 5 times 4 is 20. 16 minus 20 equals to negative 4. That is the value of f of 4. How about f of 8? So 8 squared, 64, minus 5 times 8, 40. 64 minus 40, 24. Okay, so the rate of change, I'm going to write RCH, which means rate of change. F of B, f of the greater one was 24. 24 minus f of A, negative 4. Over B is 8. Look, B is 8 minus A is 4. So negative times negative, positive. 24 plus 4, 28 over 8 minus 4, it equals to 4. 28 over 4, it equals to 7. That means rate of change of this function over this interval equals to 7. This is how we're going to get rate of change. Next question, similar question to this one. Find the rate of change of f of x equals to x squared plus 2x over the interval 1 and 3. So we have got a function and an interval. In our interval, the left side stands for a and the right side stands for b. That's why we need to find f of 1 and f of 3 in order to find rate of change. Perfect. So f of 1, substitute 1 here. 1 square, 1, plus 2 times 1, 2. So 1 plus 2, 3. 3 square, 9. 2 times 3, 6. 6 plus 9, 15. So rate of change equals to, rate of change equals to f of b, 15, minus f of a, 3, over b minus a, so 3 minus 1. 15 minus 3, 12. 3 minus 1, 2. 12 over 2, 6. So the rate of change of this function over this interval that it is given, 1, 3, it equals to 6. And the last question, find the rate of change of f of x, x squared plus 3 over the interval 0 and 2. Again, our a is 0 and our b is 2. So f of 0, we need to find both of them, substitute both of them into f. So f of 2. F of 0 is 3. F of 2 is 2 squared 4 plus 3, it equals to 7. Okay, so the rate of change equals to f of b, which is 7, minus f of 0, which is 3, over 2 minus 0. So 7 minus 3, 4. 2 minus 0, 2. 4 over 2, 2. Easy, right? Perfect. This section, actually, this chapter is very interesting. There are lots of like formulas in it, rules. We are going to see them the upcoming slide, but still, since it's calculation, it's easy. All right. So here we are going to talk about something else that we call it tangent line. Well, regarding to tangent line, I just want to clarify something. You see, we study slope, then rate of change, then we are going to talk about tangent line. So we would study about something like shortly tangent. What is the meaning of tangent? Geometrically and algebraically. And at the end, we are just going to connect all these that we study to derivative. And then I will tell you what is the conclusion behind this. Okay? So first of all, in grade 9's book, last chapter, this figure is about there. Geometrically, we will say that f align cuts a circle at only one point and is perpendicular on the radius at that point. Then we call this line tangent line. Again, I'm going to repeat it. A line, something like this red line, that cuts a circle at only one point, and perpendicular on the radius on that point, we call that line tangent line. Perfect. That is the definition of tangent line geometrically. But when we have got a graph, of course, we are dealing with a curve. Okay, just take a look at this black curve here. I hope that it is clear now. So we have got 2 points on it, these 2 points. So the line that goes through these 2 points intersect the curve at 2 points. That's why we cannot call this line tangent line, because tangent line will touch a curve at only 1 point. So this is what we call a secant line. Let's say this secant line intersect the curve at 2 points, P and Q. And the blue line, as you can see clearly, that it touches the curve at only 1 point, which is point P. So that's why we call that line tangent line. And there is a value of it which is called tangent at point P. All right. So right now, in figure C, we are going to find out and see how are we going to get the tangent line through from the secant line. So imagine Q is here, that is point Q. So from this point Q, when we approach towards to P, look step by step when it comes to here, so the line is going to go through here. When it comes to here, as you can see, the line goes down. When it comes to here, very, very closer to the tangent line, until we almost get to P, and then that means that we are going to have the tangent line at P. So if we move from Q to P, so we are going to have a line at the end that it cuts the curve at only one point, which is point P, that it is called tangent line. So basically, tangent, the value of the tangent, it's equals to the slope of the line that goes through a specific point. Okay, and let me just tell you that slope equals to the rate of change, and both of them are the same with like the tangent of them at a specific point, and they are all equal to derivative. What is derivative? Derivative of a line that it exactly is over here, not this question. Okay, that is the definition of derivative. Look, a function f is said to be differentiable at a point like x. As you can see, this x is over here. Look, we are going to talk about, we will talk about the curve, the derivative of the curve at this point, which is x. Focus and pay attention and listen carefully. F, its slope is defined at x. Whenever the slope is defined at a point, so derivative is going to be exist at that point. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Whenever the slope is defined at a point of a curve, then that curve has derivative at that point too. Okay. So as you can see, from x to this point, so the difference according to this graph is h. If we just go, this h can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, anything else. From x to x plus h, 2 points. This is the first point, and here is the second point. So here is going to be f of x, and here is going to be f of x plus h. Okay, so the rate of change is going to be f of x plus h, and the second one, that is f of b, minus f of a, which is f of x, over our b is x plus h, and our a is x, so minus x. These two x's are going to cancel each other. Okay, in grade 12, you will study something fundamental of calculus, which is limits. So limit of rate of change, when this h goes tends to 0, is going to make something that it is called derivative. You don't need this for now for grade 10, but I just want to make sure that I explain this because there is this notation in your book. So I just want you to know that limit of rate of change, when this one should be h, when h goes to 0, is going to be equal to f prime of x. What is f prime of x? Among these 5 notations, 2 of them are important for grade 10. The first one is slope, which is m. We already got familiar with it. dy over dx is about derivatives notation. In grade 12, you will see it a lot. This one that we said that we explained it graphically. You will see it again. You will use it in grade 12. That is the definition of derivative. Y prime as well, you will use it there. And f prime of x is something that we will need it here. The symbol f prime of x, we read it in this way. F of x is the function, but f prime of x is the derivative, is used to show derivative. So I just want you to know that f of x is the function itself, but f prime of x is its derivative. Perfect. So I believe till now, till here, it's going to be enough for this video. Inshallah, in the next video, we will talk about the derivative rules and we will start from here. So just stay with me and follow me. In the next video, I'm going to see you. Take care of yourself.